Kia ora, g'day, welcome back once again. So here in this reaction, this one's been in my to watch list, or watch later list I should say, for a while. I think Big Phil Campion might have already done a reaction to it when the talk about this already came out. So here it's a short 2-minute 38-second video in and around ex-UK Special Forces break silence on war crimes by colleagues. So BBC News is covering, and this has piqued my interest because of the reaction that I've done to Jay Cal on the Sean Ryan show, and I've completed that, but it's spaced out. And so on the back end of that interview, I already had this in my feed, so I saved it. But since watching and reacting to Jay's interview, I've gone back to my watch later list, and I've decided I'm going to do a reaction to this now. So I haven't seen this at all. So this 2 minutes and 38 seconds is going to be fresh to me, and we'll see what it's all about. So more war crimes alleged against UK Special Forces. So let's jump in.
Those who served with UK Special Forces are about to break a code of silence. They don't want to be identified. We've used actors to speak their words, but they want the world to know what they saw.
Everyone knew what was going on. It's not scout camp. Everyone knew what was happening. People were murdered.
Hang on. So these are I'm reading the title of the video, ex-UK Special Forces break silence. They want to expose, for want of a better term, I don't think that was the word that was used just then, about what they believe was going on, but they don't want to show their faces. Why not? Like, that's the first thought that comes to mind. Why use actors to speak your words? You know, Ben Griffin, for example, been on the HR podcast. That fella's come out, showed his face, spoken about what he believed to be wrong and why he didn't go back. Why can't these operators do the same thing? I assume they're not serving in the unit anymore because, I don't know, I guess they believe that the operators within, I'm guessing, the UK Special Forces are murderers, so they've chosen to leave. So why can't you show your face? That just seems odd. Anyway.
The government has set up a public inquiry, but it's only looking at operations between 2010 and 2013.
Is that when that twat bloody Gwyn Jenkins was in? What is he, the first Sea Lord? Bloody that guy's sorry. No, not sorry. That guy's a twat, from what I've listened to from Jay, and then also some people that know Jay and that have served in the regiment with Jay who know him quite well but may not have served in the same squadron. They've shared the same thoughts about old Mr. Jenkins being a slimy, slippery, bloody piece of work. So that's another reason why I've come back to this video to have a listen. And so far, not really that, I suppose, impressed is the word, or not impressed. Disappointed is the word I would use, that the ex-operators are unwilling to show their face for whatever reason. I don't understand more.
We've been told the unlawful killings started much earlier. In Iraq.
There was one operation where the blokes had clearly executed a man. It's disgraceful. There's no professionalism in that.
It's annoying knowing that these are actors reading supposedly ex-operators' words. And is this just a television media spin doing their own thing and making stuff up? So is there a court case? Is there a public inquiry? Is that what I heard mentioned? I don't know what the latest is on this, or if there is anything coming up about it. If there is, I haven't seen anything recently on the on the interwebs anyway. So if there is, and if people know, and if you've got up-to-date links to videos in and around how this investigation is progressing, then feel free to send it through to me. I'd love to see it. Like I said, this is the only one that I've seen. I think Big Phil Campion's done a reaction to it, but I haven't watched his reaction either. So anyway.
The killing was at its worst in Afghanistan. British soldiers were being killed in Helmand. Special forces were sent in to stop the Taliban fighters and bomb makers. The public inquiry has only been looking at allegations about the SAS.
So I'm still not hearing how and where the war crimes is coming in yet. You've got British troops getting killed in Helmand, so you're sending in special forces to go look for these bomb makers, and I would suggest probably to remove them off the board. So anyway.
Eyewitnesses we've spoken to say the Navy Special Forces, the SBS, committed war crimes too.
I can't recall us taking a single injured insurgent back to base for treatment. They were shot there and then.
That doesn't give any context. It doesn't give any for me anyway, it doesn't seem to give enough context in and around. You've got injured insurgents who I assume, because again there's no context, I'm assuming that those people are fighting against and laying rounds downrange towards whoever this person is that said these words, because that was another actor that's gone and repeated the words of their so-called eyewitnesses. Laying rounds downrange towards you and your team members. He's come off second best, then all of a sudden wants to be, okay, yeah, help me, I'm not fighting anymore. It doesn't give any context as in terms of how bad the injury was. Was it a murder? Did that person say or do anything at the time? Like, is there stuff in there and what this actor's reading out? Is there going to be more? It doesn't seem like it. Not with a 2.5 minute video. There just seems to be missing a heck of a lot of context, and the media, being the media, have looked to grab, this is just my take here, have looked to grab the sound bites that they think are going to be the juiciest parts to cause a kerfuffle in and around what the UK Special Forces have allegedly done or committed. So yeah, if there's up-to-date stuff, man, like, send it through to me. I haven't heard anything new about this. And this is the only piece that I know that I've had sitting in my to watch later list, which I'm just getting around to now.
Under British and international law, troops can't deliberately kill unarmed civilians or prisoners of war.
I think SF operators and soldiers in general understand that, regardless of whether you're UK military, New Zealand, Australia, US. From my experience, and some of the people that I know that have served in SF roles and in the military, myself included, none of us are going to look for innocent civilians to take them out. We're going and looking and hunting the bad people that should be removed, or the people that think that their cause is a just one and they're looking to do bad things to people in order to try to justify what it is that they're doing. So it just seems strange. Why even mention that? I think even the civilian, those in the civilian world would understand that soldiers, regardless of whether they're special forces or not, are not going out looking for innocent civilians.
But the eyewitnesses say they saw the execution of detainees, including children.
Execution of detainees, including children. Okay, that still doesn't give any context. It's saying that the soldiers have said this. Actually, just on that, I've made a bit of a deal about why don't these guys show their faces? What difference would that make? I don't know if it would make any difference. But I think about the Australian situation and I think about this now, and I think about Ben Griffin, ex-22 SAS operator, who's come out publicly, shared his thoughts in and around what he's witnessed based on his time and what he felt was wrong and why he chose not to go back and what's happened and all that sort of stuff. A lot of courage for him to do that. Carries more weight and has a lot more respect, I think, of people in general, and even those like myself who have never worked with him, to acknowledge and go, man, there's a guy that's, risked it all as an operator and risking it all now as a civilian to put his face and name and his words to what he believed to be wrong. Why can't these guys do the same? Same in Australia. Why is it that they're using the term they thought they were above the law, they were just trying to get their kill counts up, but it's all just directed towards Ben Roberts-Smith? Seems nuts. And there was one guy, I think he was a medic. He's the only guy that I know of from the stuff that's been happening in Australia that's shown his face and gone on the record to say what he disagreed with and whatever. So credit and respect to him. But again, where's the rest? Where's the rest of the guys? I assume they're not serving in the unit anymore. Maybe they are, and maybe that's why they haven't. But if you're not happy, I suppose they weren't really saying that they weren't happy with the regiment. They may have been not happy with the lack of, from their perspective, follow-up or leadership or whatever the case might be. But if you're talking about they, and there's a group of them, but it's just fixated on one person, that seems not only a bit unfair, but also just seems like it's, again, missing a lot of information, which, if you're wanting to shed a light on it, you should be trying to shed a light on the whole thing. Anyway, back to this, detainees and a child or children executed or killed by the sounds of things. Let me just go back a bit.
Or prisoners of war. But the eyewitnesses say they saw the execution of detainees, including children.
Well, the eyewitnesses should jump on here and just talk about that. Be like Ben Griffin.
They handcuffed a young boy and shot him. He was clearly a child, not even close to fighting age.
Media, grabbing all these little sound bites, the actors putting on a show with regards to their faces, trying to, I guess, get a sense for how the words of these ex-operators are delivered or portrayed, and trying to deliver it the way that they think they would. But it just, if anything, it just annoys me. It just doesn't seem to have any real, for me, doesn't seem to have any real substance to it, because it's missing the context and it's missing the actual eyewitnesses, them being on the camera and them talking about it, them adding more colour to that where possible, and actually questions being asked of them in terms of, did you do anything? Did you say anything? What was happening? Who was in charge? What did they say? There's just a whole bunch of questions that get thrown up for me. All well and good, man. If you see something wrong that should not have been happening and you look to try to confront that or prevent that, do what you can there and then. I don't know, I don't know what the situation was during that time, but there's just a heck of a lot of context that seems to be missing from these eyewitness accounts. Oops.
I couldn't believe what they were doing.
These are murderers. They should all be locked up.
And again, that doesn't give context. These are murderers, they should all be locked up. You're talking about the whole regiment? You're talking about your whole UKSF, including yourself in that mix? Or are you just talking about some individuals? BBC should, these actors and the media should know better, I think anyway. Not that I'm an expert on media, but should know better than to, in and around the pieces that you choose to grab and speak about and talk to, when it sounds like what this guy's talking about as an example, sounds like it encompasses the whole of the UKSF. That would be the same if talking about New Zealand, Australia, the US, Canada, etc. Like brandishing them all with the same brush in terms of the actions of what may have been of one or two or a few or a small team. It's not warranted to brandish the whole regiment or the whole unit, in this case the UKSF, with that same blanking brushstroke with regards to the comments that have been spoken about here. They should all be locked up. Mate, the UK government will be screaming to have those guys released if the crap hits the fan. So, it's just missing context, and it's really poor. This seems to be like it's 2 minutes and 11 seconds in, it's nearly done. I think my personal take is this supposed ex-UK Special Forces breaks silence on war crimes by colleagues, BBC News reporting these allegations by ex-operators who are not showing their face, who have chosen to instead use actors to voice their words. Seems pretty piss poor to me. Anyway.
The Ministry of Defence says it supports the independent inquiry, and it is not appropriate to comment on allegations which may be within its scope. The eyewitnesses say they are proud to have served in the British Armed Forces, but they can no longer keep quiet about the terrible things they saw. Richard Bilton, BBC News.
Richard Bilton, BBC News. They're proud to have served, but can no longer stay silent. Mate, if these guys are just coming out now, after, going back to 2010 to 2013, but these operators are saying it happened well before then, bloody hell, what have you been doing? Like, when did you get out? Like, what's triggered the response now, the action to go back more than 10 years, 15 years, and bring this up now? What's triggered it? Like, is it just an overwhelming sense of guilt? Like, is there mental health issues? Like, what's going on? I think it's pretty poor in terms of if you've got this high integrity set and that you wait more than 10 years, more than 15 years before you go, you know what, actually that was wrong. I remember when we did this, when we did that, blah, blah, blah. What did you do about it then? Like, what was the follow-up then? There would have been debriefs after those actions and those tasks or jobs that you would have been on. This isn't an attack on the operators. This is just genuine questions. It's like, man, here's an opportunity. These are some people that I'd love to speak with in and around, like ex-operators that are bringing this stuff up now. It just leaves a whole bunch of questions, at least for me anyway. Well, that's nearly 20 minutes on this 2-minute 38-second video clip. I don't know, like I said, I don't know if there's other videos out there in and around this particular investigation, independent inquiry. Good to hear that the Ministry of Defence supports it. Be surprised if they didn't. Where was it initiated from? Did that twat Gwyn Jenkins bloody initiate it? Maybe my video get blocked because I'm bad-mouthing him. Only bad-mouthing him and the RMPs, the Royal Military Police, for their conduct and handling of Jay Cowell and his team of operators. And just, yeah, it's pretty piss poor. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch Jay Cowell's interview on the Sean Ryan Show and you'll get an understanding. Where he talks about all that stuff is towards the end of the interview, but the whole interview itself is awesome. Anyway, that's my 2 cents. I don't hear a lot of substance or context in here to give more of a maybe a less biased reaction or opinion. Like, I think the UKSF is top shelf. Like, they are a unit that has pioneered the way forward for special forces, for the longest time. and they're still at the top of the game. They've been instrumental in helping and supporting the New Zealand unit, the Australian unit, America's units as well, and they deserve all the credit in the world for that, So to hear this and the BBC, that's the other thing. BBC are the ones putting this out. Cool, no worries. They're also the same ones promoting the Rogue Heroes, which is the forming of the SAS back in the day. And so they're promoting that as well. And I think Jay speaks to that in his interview, guys. You're either for it or you're against it. Which one is it? So you get BBC here playing both sides of an organization, of a unit within their own country. It just seems weird, and it seems poor. Like there's not enough information in here. It's just a bit of a teaser to try to draw people in. Where is this investigation at, is what I'd like to know. And if anybody, like I said, knows of any up-to-date stuff that's out there, feel free to send it through. So anyway, that's my reaction on here. If you stuck around this long, made it this far, thank you very much. Appreciate your time and your support as always. And with that being said, as always, the message is the same. Anybody going through any dark times, challenges, difficulties, man, I just encourage you to keep turning up, keep staying in the fight, keep putting one foot in front of the other, and take one day at a time. Know that the sun will shine again, that there are better days ahead, and those better days are closer than you think. So just stick at it, keep fighting. As always, go always a little further. Remember, who dares wins and who cares wins. And until the next video, there's a big mana wave coming from me to you, filled with my aroha, respect, appreciation, and gratitude for you all.